On this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, financial slang. So welcome back to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. My name is Sean Yesner, owner and founder of Yesner Law. And I've got with me, as always, your financial coach, George Corbello. How you doing, George?
Yo, what's up, buddy? How you doing, my man?
You're just riding high off that Jets win last night.
Yeah, it's a good, good to be a Jets and a Mets fan, end of the year, or this time of the recording, right? We've got, early football season and, the playoff push on the baseball side. So good to be good to be a sports fan. Let's put it like that, at least from New York sports.
Yeah, not so much for me right now, but,
I want to go into it.
Yeah.
But doing good, brother. Doing good. Can't complain for sure.
Nice. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're powering through to mid-October. I paid for the limo bus to transport all the kids from the bar mitzvah to the
birthday.
after party. I've also got to finish paying Dave & Buster's for the after party. I've got to order all the centerpieces.
Right.
I've got to do. There was another expense that popped up today that I was like, I got to pay what? Oh, I wanted to buy my son. I have a charm, a Jewish symbol charm that my grandmother left for me when she passed.
Okay.
And I was going to give it to my son on a chain for his bar mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to a friend of mine today that is a jeweler, and I forget what she quoted. Maybe I'll look it up here on the internet. She said gold is $2,600 per ounce or something crazy like that.
That seems.
I
wouldn't doubt it.
Price of gold. Price of gold today.
Be specific with the internet now.
Yeah. A 1 ounce gold bar from Credit Suisse is $2,900.
Okay.
Here's another website. Yeah. Real time spot price gold, $2,611.93. So basically, a gold chain that would have costed me, $300 however long ago.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be close to $1,000 today.
Wow.
So yeah, that was another amazing expense of this bar mitzvah that I was not looking forward to.
The kids we love.
Getting
Is there
my
a
son
theme for
present.
the party itself? Is there soccer theme? Gotcha.
So my son's soccer player, the one that's getting bar mitzvahed, is a soccer player.
Nice.
So the invitations, I'll pull it up. We did use, for those that are curious, and I know we're going to talk about Magic Mind. Let's get that out of the way because they like being the first. They're the official paying sponsor.
Yes.
So let's talk about Magic Mind. I did do my Magic Mind shot today.
I did too.
To get focused in anticipation of getting a good podcast episode out.
I don't know about good, but it's going to be a podcast.
To get a podcast episode out, right. But it's, and I've been taking it during the week.
Yes.
By the time I get to the end of the week, I'm tired. I get up at 5 in the morning, and I go till about 9, 10 o'clock at night with the kids and sports and work and meetings and all this other stuff. Although I did get rid of the HOA.
Yay!
But yeah, Magic Mind, when I get to the end of the week and I start running down, I get the Magic Mind and it perks me back up.
That's all it is. There's a lot of, I call them imitators. There's a lot that's available out there, right? But when you talk about, just having that kind of pick me up without for me, it's always the crash I always worry about. Just need something to get me focused, be able to do the amount of work. Because again, you're right. There's a ton of meetings, a ton of people we have to meet with and help. So it's just, it can, for me, I'm the introvert in me. I get exhausted and I need something that just keeps me going without having to worry about I'm going to have this deep crash or unable to sleep or unable to kind of go because I'm going and going. So yeah, I would agree. When I take it, I'm feeling good and I'm ready to tackle the day for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing that I don't want the sugar crash, but I don't want to be so wired that I can't go to sleep at night either. And that's never happened with a good Magic Mind shot. So you can go to magicmind.com/crushing20. That'll give you a whopping 20% off. When was the last time you went anywhere that you could get 20% off anything?
No, they charge me 20% more.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite direction.
But Magic Mind is giving you 20% off your first order. You enter the code crushing20, you'll get 20% off. So the other thing I was going to talk about, in especially with the bar mitzvah, is send out cards. So I have a friend, Sean Barklow, who is with a company called Promptings. He primarily uses send out cards. And so he set me up. You get, I think it's like 4 hours with a virtual assistant. So I paid for a package of cards. I got with the virtual assistant. The virtual assistant designed the card, sent it to me. It's got a field with a soccer ball, and then around the soccer ball is, the Yesner family invites you to the bar mitzvah of, and it's got all the details.
Okay. The
back of the card's got the same details on it. They also created a thank you card, so we'll be able to get thank you cards out after the event. The VA downloaded. I sent her an Excel spreadsheet with all of the invitees and the addresses. The VA downloaded that.
Sure.
I literally clicked 2 buttons, and 50 invitation cards went out. I didn't have to do anything.
Nice.
So
simplicity and efficiency. I mean, obviously, time is in its essence, but you want to get something out that's really nice.
Yeah.
And be able to do that. So, oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I can continue to send out cards if the law firm wants to send out thank you cards to clients, thank you cards to referral sources. So yeah, an unsolicited and unpaid prompt.
Well, there you go.
For send out cards.
Good work should always be rewarded. So that's a good thing.
So anyway, a couple weeks ago, we were discussing our friends Henry and Alice. A couple weeks ago. At the end of that episode, we started to get into some financial slang. And so I thought that would be an interesting episode to continue, is just different financial slang that we hear, whether it's on the internet,
we use it.
interwebs.
I bet you we use it.
The TikToks that we use.
Exactly.
One financial slang term that I like to use with my kids is no.
I don't think that's a slang. That's just, it's just a nice complete sentence. I get you there.
So what did you find? I
mean, the more common, and again, I want to call it slang, right? But the more common one is, we're living paycheck to paycheck, right? You're living, that's a phrase or something that you hear out there. That's one of your common ones. Not as cool as Henry. I thought was pretty, let me tell you, that one gets people thinking, in regards to like, who's Henry and why do I care? And if you want to know what, there's a great episode for you to listen to on the Crushing Debt podcast. So go listen to that.
Episode 433.
There you go. Amazing. But yeah, and obviously when we talk about living paycheck to paycheck, that kind of thing, what is that? We know what it means. But again, what do you need to do differently? And we kind of know the budgets, things like that, different mindset that needs to be in place. But, for me, that's your more common, your ones there. But there's some funny ones I'd imagine that you can hit us up with, when it comes to, I know TikTok is very creative.
The two that took me a while, the two that made me think I'm kind of an old man, FOMO and YOLO.
Okay.
FOMO and YOLO. So it took me a while to figure out FOMO, fear of missing out. Yes. That's keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes, that's all it is. When we talk about FOMO, for us, when we're either like, oh, you only live once, right? Well, that's the other one. Sorry. So that's the other.
YOLO, you only live once.
You only live once. FOMO is kind of like, well, if I don't invest, if I don't do this, if I don't spend the money, I'm going to miss out on whatever it is that, that we're worried about. You're worried about the future in those kind of situations. So it's like, for me, I think it plays into that fear. And of course, it becomes impulse. Like, oh, I've got to do it. What do you mean? Like, if I don't do it, if I don't buy this house, I'm going to miss out on, the equity, or I'm going to miss out on these kind of things.
One of the examples that comes to mind on FOMO, on fear of missing out, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the late 90s, you were what, 5?
Yeah, sure.
But back in the late 90s, everybody was investing in these penny stocks.
Yes.
You'd invested $1,000 at a penny, and if it went up to 5 cents, you'd be a bajillionaire.
Right.
And so at the office where I first started working, the first legal job I had as an associate attorney, everybody was investing in these penny stocks, and they were always talking about penny stocks. Right around that same time is when Vince McMahon took the World Wrestling Entertainment,
yes.
the WWE. At that time, WWF, but the WWE, when he took it public. And so at that, I was still watching wrestling on a fairly consistent basis back then.
No judgment.
And I said to everybody in the office, and I was joking. I knew. So, so the back of my mind, I thought, if Vince McMahon is successful at doing this, fantastic.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to be. But if he is, fantastic. And so I went around the office telling everybody, you really want to buy these WWE stocks. They're going to go crazy. They're only this now, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do this. I don't even know if they're still publicly traded stocks anymore.
Well, they got bought out recently, so I think
Yeah.
there's definitely a change there.
But it was that
interesting.
whole concept of if I don't start buying penny stocks, and then that became the .com bust, and then that became the housing bust,
Right.
And that, I mean, there's example after example after example of peoples who say everybody else is investing in blank.
Why am I not?
So
well,
we should.
Bitcoin. I mean, think about
Bitcoin,
it.
that was the
that's
next
another
one.
big one. Yep.
You know, and I remember in the financial housing crash, I remember saying to people, if you're taking advice on buying and selling houses from your hairdresser, and I'm sure there are
There's good ones. So good.
Plenty of good
My
ones.
bartender's given me some good advice in the past.
plenty of smart ones. But if you're not taking real estate investment advice from a financial advisor, from a realtor, from a mortgage officer, what are you doing?
It's a risk.
So
There's
anyway,
a risk. But I agree. FOMO and FOMO spending itself, that drains your bank account, bro. So, what are some of the things, if you're tempted or needing to do, it's like slow down. A lot of it is all impulse. So just really like think back, where are you getting the advice, right? Right. And then at the same time, like, is this the right time to do this? Does it align to your goals? A lot of times when we talk about the fear of missing out, we don't even know what we're missing. Just more of just like, well, if everybody's doing it, I should be doing it. So yeah, I would definitely, kind of change that mentality from that. But yeah.
Although one of the terms that I found here is Muppet.
What's a Muppet?
A derogatory term used.
We don't want to say that again then.
In the financial world, I don't think we have to put an explicit tag on the episode because we said Muppet. But a derogatory term used in the financial world to describe an uninformed or easily manipulated investor, implying they're being puppeted by others. So a Muppet would be somebody that gives into FOMO.
Pretty much.
See how I connected those two?
Dude, let me tell you, amazing what you just did there. But I'm gonna go to the next one that most people kind of know about, flexing.
Right.
Flexing. What's our flexing? You're showing off your wealth or expensive items. Most people out there who are flexing are probably as broke as we are. And when it comes but I think, what are we doing? Right. It goes back to the Joneses. Who are we trying to impress?
I need to tell the time here on my Rolex watch. Hang on 1 minute.
So I believe Sean's flexing for us. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of examples of like, oh, look at this guy, on Instagram, kind of showing off the 4 cars and, the type of car, the type of dates or the things they do, especially in celebrities. There's a lot of flexing. There's supposed to be this type of, life experience, and look at how if you just did all of these things, you could be here as well. So, when you talk about flexing, you see a lot of just showing off, wealth. But do a lot of rich people actually do a lot of flexing? A lot of times it's just more people who are pretending.
It's more people. I think it's more people that are pretending. It's more people that, sometimes the most wealthy people have the least flashy stuff.
Exactly.
And it's the people with the least amount of money. I remember a bankruptcy that I filed once. And the lady was very, very concerned about the rims on her Escalade. I'm like,
wow.
Why do you need rims on your Escalade? Why do you?
Why do you need an Escalade?
Nothing about that sentence makes sense. You don't need an Escalade. You don't need rims.
And why are you worried about it?
And why are you worried about it? So I think that, and you got to remember stuff on social media. What I try to remember all the time, and even myself, I typically only post cool stuff, happy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, what drives me crazy is the people that post on social media, pray for me, and that's it. And then everyone's like, well, what's wrong? What's going on?
Right,
Where are you? What, blah, blah, blah. If you're not going to tell us what's going on, don't give us some kind of inconspicuous, cryptic post. So other than those kinds of things, most posting on social media is all the good stuff that you're going through. I think it's hilarious when... Well, not hilarious. I think it's ironic.
There you go.
Better word, ironic. When you'll see couples post pictures of their vacation.
Yep.
And then the next week they're filing for divorce. Like, you just went on vacation.
Well, you got to get the trip in. I mean, we paid for a lot of money.
You posted all these pictures of all this fun you were having on vacation, and then the next week
I couldn't stand that person afterwards. So.
Right.
Well, anyway. I mean, some of the things we talk about, like, for me, it's flexing feels good in the moment, right? You look good, you feel good. People are going to react a certain way. But if it's hurting your wallet, it definitely, you got to be careful there. And when it comes to how you spend your money itself, for us, it's like, don't worry about the flexing itself. Building wealth, focus on building wealth, focus on, what you want to have and things like that personally, than having to kind of show off what you have. So I think it's for you, like, what are you more worried about? More about how people perceive you or how you perceive yourself? And again, what you want to achieve when it comes to the money you have.
Well, and sometimes that might relate back to the YOLO, you only live once. And I agree with you. The best strategy in terms of fear of missing out, you only live once. The best strategy is just to kind of wait, relax, take a breath. Buy it tomorrow.
Right.
You'll still be able to buy it tomorrow.
Well, we worry too much about the future, even though a lot of advice we have, too, is about, like, save for retirement, save for a rainy day, what's going to be. But it's one of those, the mindset is taking it onto another level.
Right.
And you're kind of like, now, I get it. It's important to worry about tomorrow, but, like, I'm worried about tomorrow every few minutes or every second. That's where it becomes a little bit more of the fear of missing out starts to really creep in.
And the interesting thing that I was thinking of, especially in terms of flexing, is that the people that really matter don't care.
Yeah.
My boys don't care that I own a Rolex watch.
They're like, what is that?
They really don't. To them, it's a watch.
Yeah, exactly.
They would be just as happy. In fact, I'm probably thinking about giving my kids, I have a couple of battery what are they called? The Citizen watches.
Nice ones, yeah.
And those kinds of things. That I may throw new batteries in, assuming the old batteries haven't killed the watch. Throw a new battery in and give them to the boys and let them.
Why not?
Let them wear them.
Pass down. If you good watches, you're able to. They should last a long time itself, especially if you take care of them. And your boys are going to be just like, oh wow, nice watch, thanks, Dad. That should, well, at least that should be the, or like, thanks, Dad.
Thanks,
You
Dad.
might get one of those reactions.
Yeah. So what are some other slang?
Here's a good funny one that I TikTok wise that's out there. Cash poor, credit rich.
Should be the other way. No, cash poor, credit rich. It should be cash rich,
Exactly.
credit rich.
Well, a lot of us, out there, we're relying on it. So we talk about, flexing, right? When flexing starts to go into, I need, credit to look rich. This is where, once again, it's funny when you hear that, you're like, oh wow, that's a good line, right? But it still goes back to, what are you're setting yourself up for failure, really, if you're kind of relying too much on debt for things, for a lot of these things itself. So, it once again, going back to it, is it important to look good for other people? And now we're saying, I'm going to go into debt to make it, like, oh, I got tons of credit. It's like, no, you got to have tons of cash, when you want to pay for cash itself, because even those good feelings are going to go away, and all you're going to be left with is a ton of debt.
Right. No, I agree. Here's one that I found. Cockroach theory.
Okay.
So, cockroach theory is a theory that bad news to the public usually means there is more bad news behind the scenes, which likely will come out eventually. And so that actually was what drove my business in the real estate meltdown, in the mortgage meltdown, is that I would wake up every day and do a happy dance because the front page article was how terrible everything was. And for me, from a bankruptcy perspective, the more terrible things are, the more people think they need me to file bankruptcies and defend foreclosures.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not happy at people's misfortune, but
no.
But it was more the concept of I needed to change my mindset to not follow the news, to not buy into all the negativity.
Well, and that's the hard part, right? If you're on the internet, if you're doing the social medias, all you get, unfortunately, is you get bad news. You get hit up with so much bad news itself that starts to influence you with the FOMOs and the YOLOs and I got to make a decision, or I'm missing out this, or I got to do these kind of things, or you know what, maybe put you in the turtle shell, right? And you're like, I can't go outside, can't do anything. I'm not, it's not a good time to invest. Maybe I need to pull my money out of investing because now, the end of the world is coming because we have an election. It's just, you have to be cautious. Be careful on how much you consume out there, because that also plays into our fears, and it also plays into some of the things that we think about when it comes to my money. Well, I mean, if the end of the world is coming, why work, right?
Right.
Just enjoy life, and everything is going to go downhill. It's going to be burning anyway. So I have my survival kit ready, and I'm good to go. Like, let's just go. You have to just be cautious.
Yeah,
you can't get consumed too much into it because you can go down a rabbit hole pretty
right.
quick.
You can't rely too much on the bad news. Here's another funny one. Eat your own dog food.
Okay, what is this one? Go ahead.
Eat your own dog food is the basic premise that if a firm expects paying customers to use its products or services, it should expect no less from its own employees. Not using its own products for internal operations may imply that a company does not believe its products are best of breed, despite its public proclamation of that fact.
That makes sense. I mean, here's the thing: if you're working for McDonald's, right? If you don't eat McDonald's or at least believe in those kind of things, it kind of hurts the or the insurance. Okay, maybe McDonald's not a good idea, but insurance. If I work for insurance, but I don't have my coverage through them itself, again, you don't believe in the product, so it kind of makes sense.
I was thinking clothing stores. You don't.
Well, I mean, you don't go to Old Navy and wear Abercrombie Fitch. I mean, that might be a little bit of a contradiction or a conflict of interest.
You don't wear your nice polo shirt to Nike to your job at Nike.
I hear you. So so I was worried about where that was going, but now I'm kind of all on board with that one.
Yeah.
Well, here's the one. There's another one. Sean, are you low key rich? Are you low key rich?
Low key rich.
Low key rich. So
I would assume that would mean I have money. I just don't flaunt it.
You got it. So we got the flexing, but now I think is it popular? Is it more popular to be low key rich? So you're right. I have the wealth, but do I need to show it off? Do I care about showing it off? I think that's got to be a goal. So again, it's not always about the negative, right? For this one, it's kind of like, I want to have money. I want to be able to enjoy life, but I don't care about who I'm showing it off to because I'm doing the right things for me and my family. I'm saving, I'm investing, I have what I need, and I'm still be able to enjoy life. So yeah, being low-key rich, brother, that's a goal.
And your name is Henry.
And my name is Henry, bro. Well, Henry just temporarily.
Here's one. Tip from a dip.
Oh my goodness. All right, you got some good ones. What's this one about?
Advice from a person who claims to have inside information, such as substantially higher than expected earnings or government approval of corporate mergers, that will materially impact a stock's price, but actually doesn't.
Oh, okay. I think it's illegal to do that, but then
it's illegal to trade on inside information, but I think what this is someone who says they have inside information, but they don't.
Yeah, I got a tip for you.
Yeah,
all right, just letting you know.
Like me with the WWE stocks.
Oh, so you're the dip in this example.
I was given tips.
Ah,
who is it? There's a sucker born every minute.
Okay.
Who is that? The famous circus guy.
Ringley?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you thinking Ringley? Ringley? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a sucker born every minute means that there's always someone willing or able to be swindled. Quote, usually attributed to American showman P.T. Barnum.
That's it.
But there's no evidence that he coined it.
Well, maybe
Interesting.
Well, you learn something new every day. It's out there, buddy.
Wow. So this is now turned into a circus history podcast. That's awesome.
Well, let's get back to some more terms here. For a lot of my clients, are you going through a financial glow up?
Wow. What is a glow up?
Well, you're improving your financial situation and your habits. You gotta have a glow up, man. What's a good glow up? It's not just for the face. It's not just for the clothes you wear. It's not for but I want you to have a financial glow up. When we working with me as a financial coach, I want you to do things, differently. And things that are going to improve your situation itself. Again, so what are you doing differently? How are you doing it? But also the habits and things like that. So go do your financial glow up, buddy.
Here's one that I found: cookie jar accounting.
Cookie jar. Okay, let's. Man, you got some good ones there.
Well, thank you, Internet. An accounting practice in which a company stores up funds during good times, to dip into during bad times.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, there you go.
Although it does say because it effectively misleads investors, making them think goals are being met even when the company is losing footing.
No, that's bad.
This practice is forbidden by the SEC.
Well, there you go.
So if you're publicly traded, you can't do this.
Gotcha. Okay, but if I'm at home, let's get the cookie jar and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a little sense there. But I like where you're headed. You're the funny guy at this point, but I'm trying to keep things kind of low key. You're a lot of clients and a lot of people we think too. Are we broke AF? That's another that's your common one.
Telling everybody what that meant would require the explicit tag on the show.
But of course, if you're feeling, you're broke AF, and there's a lot of those out there itself. What are you doing? It's all about, do you have a plan? Do you have goals? Or, where are you spending? It's time to hit pause, right? You need to try to figure out where are you right now, so you don't have that feeling of just, really, really broke out there. Is there more money you can make? Is there less spending you can make? But yeah, that's another common one that I see a lot out there on TikTok for sure.
Yeah. Here's one. I mean, it's one we all know, the sandwich generation.
Mm-hmm. Sandwich generation. Yep.
Sounds like a fun term, but the sandwich generation actually refers to the age group sandwiched between their aging parents on the one hand and young kids on the other. These adults are typically tasked with financially supporting both their older and younger dependents while trying to save for their own retirement. Sandwich generation may eat actual sandwiches, but probably only as a way to save money.
Yeah, bologna.
I love bologna sandwiches.
Bologna's good. I'm okay with that. No
sandwiches.
Shame in there. To be honest with you, I see a lot of clients today when it comes to situations like that. You have your Henrys, right? But then when you talk about sandwich, our goal is to have kids, have a family, take care of these. A lot of our older, our family members, our older, our parents, we're starting to see a lot of them that they're not ready for retirement. They're not ready for those situations. And we lean heavily on our kids to be able to, help us out. But that puts them in a situation where it's like, you're right, I'm helping mom and dad get through their situation, and I'm helping my kids so that they're getting better prepared. That is one thing, let me tell you, when I went through my financial goals and things like that, I do not want to be a burden on my kids. I want to be in a situation where, they're starting their lives, they're starting to do their thing. I wanted to just be able to, like my wife and I can go and enjoy and have fun, and not have to worry about my kids worrying about, like, oh my God, is mom and dad going to be eating Alpo later? Again, going back to the dog thing.
Right.
But that's some of the situations that are out there. So got to be careful and do something different.
So I don't know if you want me to go here or not, but I stumbled upon financial dad jokes.
Oh God, I'm going to give you 3. Give me 3 good ones. Dad jokes are never good, but go ahead. Give me. Let me see. Let me hear them.
Why did the banker switch careers?
Why, Sean? Why?
He lost interest.
Oh. Go ahead. Another one.
Are taxes easy?
Are they, Sean?
Only for account ants. I don't get that one.
Okay.
It's a bug joke, I guess.
One more.
Let's see.
I'm sorry, folks. I should put a disclosure in the top of this episode. But go ahead.
Actually, two of them that look pretty good.
Go.
How do banks find talented employees?
How do they, Sean?
They check their tellergents.
Okay, one more, Sean.
Why don't trees invest in the stock market?
Why, Sean?
Because they prefer to branch out their investments.
Okay, so the other one, the other term that we have here, guys, for me, the last one, I think, making money moves. Money moves is you hear that a lot when it comes to making smart financial decisions and actions. So we make money move. Obviously, big thing. What are we doing? How are we investing? What are we? What are some of the things that we're doing from that standpoint? You hear that a lot, but a lot of people who make money move have a plan. They have a financial situation. They know what they're doing. They know what their goals are, and they're trying to make things move forward. So I just wanted to get us as far away as those dad jokes as possible. So
Well,
there you are, brother.
So here's a good
You got
one.
another one? Oh, yeah.
It's dumb, but there actually is a lesson behind it.
Okay.
How did the banker quit smoking?
How?
He canceled his cash flow.
Oh my gosh.
But I guess if you cut off your cash, you don't have the ability to buy cigarettes. I guess I don't know. It's kind of a dumb one.
Let's move on.
Why was the math book sad?
Why?
Because it had too many problems.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tap out now, guys. This was fun, but Sean, I think you're taking the dad joke a little too seriously now.
The dad joke a little too seriously. Sorry about that.
Nah, good job though, man. Hey, a lot of different ways to kind of work. Again, what are some of the things you're hearing out there, guys? You know, what are some of the terms? What are some of the slang that you're hearing out there? Henry was a new one for me, so there's definitely more that are coming from that standpoint.
Henry, Alice. You know, it was funny. So we also mentioned dual income, no kids. DINK,
Yep.
DINK, dual income, no kids. I sent you an email that I got at random. There's some community of that out there that have seminars and resources. And I think I forwarded you the email.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, so the internet is always listening to everything we're doing all the time. I get this random email about joining this club for dual income, no kids. I don't qualify anymore.
But definitely, it's an interesting. But hey, I'm glad that people are listening, and there's always something to learn, and always groups to be a part of. So if you want to be a dink, go right ahead.
Speaking of groups, you can join the Crushing Debt on Patreon. So patreon.com/crushing debt. That'll provide some more funds back to us that we will use for continued improvement in the show. Also, thank you again to our sponsor, Magic Mind. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for helping us to get through these topics. Think of topics that will help you. Think of topics that'll be informative. Thinking of topics that'll be fun or funny.
Gotta have fun once in a while.
But thank you, Magic Mind. Again, it's magicmind.com/crushing debt. Crushing 20, sorry. magicmind.com/crushing 20. That gives you 20% off your order. And as always, Sam Cohen with Attorneys First. If you are a title company or attorney and you need malpractice coverage, contact Sam at Attorneys First for that. Anything else? Anything I am forgetting?
You probably are, but it's okay because I forgot as well. So because I'm an old man, but I'm feeling good, and I would just say, dude, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's always fun. Money can be so serious sometimes, but we try to make things a little bit more manageable and again, just lighthearted, because we know it can be some tough times out there.
Yeah, it can be. Times can be rough when it comes to money, but having a sense of humor about it, being able to laugh, keeping that positive mindset, I think that's all a good idea. So the other thing we hope is that you have more money at the end of the month rather than month at the end of the money. And we will talk to you in next week's episode of the podcast.